share her answer, but it was that reaching underserved markets that are usually ignored is good business. It's a good business decision. It's what she's talking about on LinkedIn. Tara, I think she dropped off, and she told us that what she wants to be known for on LinkedIn is making chaos compliant. That's good. Oh, that was Jill? That was Jill. Sorry. So let's go. Deirdre, tell us, how can we help in the squad?
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for the invitation. And this really all sounds like so much fun, so I'm glad to be here. So I started with a new company recently, and my primary job for them is recruiting. So I have both a personal LinkedIn page and then the business LinkedIn page. The business LinkedIn page is kind of weird in that my headshot isn't there, and it really talks about the company. But I'm looking to recruit new loan officers for my company, which is Integrity Mortgage Group, the little tiny mortgage company out of Asheboro, North Carolina. So I'm really looking for some help in sort of changing my profile to be more, I guess, recruiting friendly, because that was never my job in the past. So I need a little bit of help spiffing myself up to be a recruiter. So
okay. All right. So you want to be seen as a recruiter.
Correct.
With
and someone that's sincerely a career specialist, not I'm just trying to get you to come work here, because I am recruiting only for my own company. I'm not like a recruiter for a number of places. It's just my company, but I want to be seen more as like the career professional, not just I'm trying to bag another bottle.
Okay, Jill, will you go again? I didn't do it justice, so I want you to do it.
No, that was pretty much it. I kept mine pretty short and sweet. So my name is Jill Johnson. And what I said was, with everything that I've encountered over the last few years, I want to be known as the person who brings compliance to the chaos. Because we all know, certainly in the mortgage industry, there's been a lot of chaos in the last few years. And as far as like what makes this a win, I've said this to Molly a number of times. I think the FaceTime that we get with the different people from all over the United States, from different companies, different sizes, that I might not have been able to step foot into a room with them otherwise, is invaluable. And so any of these opportunities that I can take part in, I mean, and that goes for everybody, like being able to put yourself out there, maybe something sticks with someone, and that expands the reach for, you know, whether there's someone who's in the market for, you know, a job opportunity, or, you know, just making sure that we're connecting with each other. I think that's invaluable.
Okay, Heather. Heather's brand new to Athena's Council, and this is the first ever meetup.
Yeah, it is. Hello.
Welcome.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem. It's my fault.
Well, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm always the one who's too early. So I'm like, no, this time I'm going to see that it was changed, and I'm going to be cool. It was not cool.
I was not cool.
That's okay. We'll be uncool together. So I'm super excited to be here and to meet a whole bunch of people who are like-minded. That's so exciting to me. I am kind of I kind of thought I was missing out on a whole bunch of connections after COVID and everything like that. And I started my business 1 year ago, and I was like, am I even going to know how to socialize anymore? I don't even know. And then, but little by little, I've been feeling a little more comfortable with the idea of selling a brand and just being me and collecting people who think like I do, because good things happen that way, I find. But, and I am a consultant, and I focus on mortgage technology. and I've been in mortgage for 24 years. And I want to be known for bringing people together. That seems to be something that no matter what I'm doing, that's always my goal, is to find people to bring together and work together and make good things happen. And I need help and support.
How about you, Deb? I think the Dark Matter User Conference is going on right now.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not there this time. So but Jen is there, so that's why she's not with us tonight. But I want to be known for being the hands-on applied AI in the mortgage industry expert. I have been in the mortgage industry for about 30 years and really went from doing everything manually to now injecting AI in those same processes that we used to do manually. And so when people in our space start talking about AI, it's scary. When you think about, if I deny this loan based on erroneous data or decision making by AI, what does this do to my reputation? What does this do to my company? What is, like, is it going to be put back to me? Of course it's going to be put back to you. And well, I mean, it's never going to be approved, but you have the potential to ruin somebody's financial future. And that's scary, right? So for me, when I look at what we do with AI and where we inject it, it's really my expertise is how we gather that data, how we train models, and how we apply it from a business perspective. Our data science team doesn't care that it's an Equifax FICO score. They're looking at the data and they're saying, it's 98% accurate. This is fantastic. Well, you're right, it is fantastic. That's pretty damn good. In fact, that's really fantastic. But they don't get the nuances of the industry. So when I work with our data science team in trying to explain to them the difference between an occupancy certificate and an occupancy agreement, you could kind of see the light bulb go on over their head, and they're like, oh, okay, I saw the word occupancy, and assumed they were the same label. No, they're not. In fact, they're so completely different. So when I really try and work hard at learning from people outside the industry about my same role, people that are generating the data for the AI models to consume, and what are the best practices that they put in place, and then from a business perspective, being able to say, like, guys, it's really not that scary. If you put the right controls in place in the right part of your processes, you'll do okay. So although I work for Dark Matter, I've always enjoyed being able to teach people what I know. And so I don't care if you're using Dark Matter for our business processes, or if you're using some other company out there. At the end of the day, I don't want to see borrowers impacted, but I also don't want, the whole point of AI is to make you more efficient, but not at extreme costs. So that's what I want to be known as. And just being able to share comments and insights and my thoughts on how you know, things are sometimes best approached, or things to keep in mind when you're doing something, right? When you're injecting AI in a certain area, and how you could best protect your company, but still get the lift out of AI that you want. So.
All right, Laura.
Oh, you're on mute, Laura.
Thank you. Technology. I didn't want to over talk on something that you were saying there, Deb. It, really just to support, I came on to support Molly and her efforts in growing this women's entrepreneurs and all their work that they're doing to lift other women. Not that we can't lift men too, but it's really a good collage to help. I've been in the mortgage and real estate industry for over 40 years. So I led teams. I helped companies build their teams. The last company I worked for, I walked in and they had no mortgage department, a community bank, and we grew it and pretty crazy and got Fannie and Freddie approvals and all those things and did servicing. I mean, it blew up pretty quickly over about 10 years. I know that doesn't sound like quickly, but from zero to that, and you know, and I still produce all the time. Did one-on-ones with our team, everyone in the whole organization. So it's called that burnout phase where you just, every day you're just getting it piled on you. I think everybody's been there. But what it taught you is that everybody needs some of that guidance and some of that experience when there's a problem, somebody comes in with a problem. I may not have the exact answer for that problem, but because of the years of experience, I know where we can go get it or who might be the expert. And just made connections all over. When you work for a smaller company, I had worked for Wells Fargo too, but when you work for a smaller company, it's like your door is always open, whether you're at the office or not. People are always asking you for help, which can be rewarding, but also tiring too. So anyway, so I still am I want to stay connected to the industry because I still do some coaching around teams building from a B player team or a smaller team to get them to realize they can compete with A players and or bigger teams. And that's really where my focus has gone down this path. I support local or Midwest entrepreneur women's group. We also have I'm part of a company that does, we call it RBI Playbooks, which is AI. And then we bring that into coaching. So those playbooks are what the public sees, whether it's a company, whether it's an individual, whether any business. The playbook goes in and sees what that company's public image is. Because before you make any purchase, before you get any loan, before you get any insurance, before you buy anything, you're going, or your customers are going to the web to search you. They're going into Google comments, they're going into they may get referrals, but they're still going somewhere to find out more about you. So it's not diving into companies' personal information or a team's personal information. It's high level and what's on the marketplace. Now, can anybody do it? Of course they can. Do they do it? No. So it also takes their number one competitor and it puts it into about a 24-page report with a SWOT and a gap analysis and action plans. And then we also give them a companion that's based on that playbook. So they can put any questions they want into that. It's AI chatbot basically that's designed for them and that playbook. And that has been a game changer, giving them that chat or that companion that they can go in and ask questions. When you start playing with ChatGPT, you can get in a rabbit hole and you can go on and on and on and on and on. You've all done it. And this is focused on that playbook. So like marketing people can get after it. Top executives can get after it. And it just gives them a competitive advantage over their number one competitor. So we just did a playbook for some folks in Florida, a company branch, and they told us who their number one competitor was. Okay, so we pulled them and their competitor. We did a whole bunch of, see you, Jill. I'm sorry if you have questions. And so we just compare them, and then we give them that playbook and just a companion, and they can go to town. So it's to save them time, and it's basically done for them, and they can update it as they go down the road. What the other thing is brought in consulting, other consulting things. Like right now, I'm working with a company that's out of Singapore. I know you don't want to say anything Asian right now, but they have a way to transfer funds without going through wires. Very transparent. They've tested it over, have it active in not China, Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, India. It's active. And what it is, it's very transparent and very immediate, real time. And these companies that are doing this are blowing up. There's some that are working like I can give you some that are kind of in routes. I don't know if any of you have heard of FedNow. FedNow is real time. They did a pilot. You have to belong to the Federal Reserve to be able to use FedNow. They did a pilot, and that's real time money. So in the United States, if you want to transfer money, you have to go after a wire, right?
Yeah.
How long does that take? And how, yeah, and how can you send one if it's Saturday?
I mean, I think, aren't they usually like 48 hours or something like that for a FedWire?
Yeah. So these, they have a universal adapter. It goes directly from Bank A that has the funds to Bank B or whoever it might be, or a different company. And it's immediate. It's real time. They're raising their next round of funds right now, and we've been advising them because from a banking and mortgage transaction or real estate transactions, no one wants to wait for these funds. No one. And once the Fed goes, you have to get the Fed wire confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and verify it, right?
Mhm.
So have any of you been involved with wire fraud?
No, but I was going to ask a question about that, Laura. And I mean, we can wait until afterwards. But
Yeah.
I have a question about, is this company doing anything to help prevent wire fraud? You hear these horror stories. People send, their $250,000, and the next thing you know, it's gone.
Right. So
Laura has told me one hell of a story about wire fraud that she has seen.
my banking
Yeah.
days. So
Yeah.
And does this company out of Singapore, do they operate even when the Fed is closed?
yes, they don't go through the Fed. This is a global company.
That's really amazing.
It's incredible. And so we've been consulting with this group since the fall. So they're not like a PayPal. They're not like a credit card vendor that's taking credit cards. But another company that works with individual pieces like that just got merged in with it's called, I think, WorldPay. Just got merged in, and their ticket price to buy them was like $60 billion. They have all these consumer accounts all over the world. So this is just a business or a bank connectivity, and then they adapt to any APIs and any host to host. So like a bank to bank. like a Wells Fargo to Chase. That's host to host. They have all of it set in, and it's very, very complicated, and it's got a lot of can't talk anymore today. Authentication, and it's incredible. I mean,
Wow.
we've been working with them quite a while. They're just getting their next round of funds, and we just talked to an investor yesterday and today that's looking to jump into this arena. They're already functioning in several countries that they want to get into the United States.
I have a question that's
Yeah.
related, but a little different look at it. This consulting job, because I remember when you retired from originating at the community bank, and since then, you started a consultancy. You've also been working in these AI projects, but the consultancy part, how are you getting these jobs, relationship, like the Singapore company that you're talking about now? Because that's what Heather's the consultant. Deb, I know you're at Dark Matter now, but being known as a hands-on AI and mortgage expert would definitely open that door for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Deirdre, I assume that would benefit you too. How
do you do it? So it's a lot of connections, right? Every connection you have is so important. So I got connected to this group through somebody I've known for almost 5 decades. So it's those things, right? Don't burn your bridges, because you don't know who's going to come and talk to you. I still keep my real estate license. I don't originate loans anymore, but I do refer loans because people still call me, and it's a way to stay connected. I send them kind of a round robins and say, would you be interested? I'm also consulting with a group out of St. Louis that is going into the third-party origination. So they've done their retail gigs, and now they want to expand into third party. So just by hands-on, they connect through people that I'm connected to, or that I've actually there's a lot of things you can consult with, because I don't know everything. And even pulling in 2 or 3 other people, we're still not going to know everything. So just be open, and I don't even, it takes a little bit to get out there. I'm a soft sell to people. I don't flash all over LinkedIn. I don't even, all the technology stuff, I don't even have it cleaned up. But man, I can get into AI and I can go like a bandit. And if you can do some of those things and ask those prompts and ask those questions, you're going to get farther ahead. Now, does it hallucinate? Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it's back behind there smoking pot or something. I don't know. But when you start reading some of this, you're like, where the heck did that come from? And then you just keep diving. Verify, yep. So, and it all seems to come at once.
So the clients with or like prospective clients or projects, they're all coming to you in waves, is what you mean? Like
in waves, yeah. So like you're right, like helping with some folks right now that I've been working with in the Singapore group, and then some folks that are adding DSCR loans. They didn't do them before, but now they're adding them. Well, okay, I think I did one, and then I handed it off to somebody. So those are opportunities that you need to pull someone else back in, those types of things. I think you just have to put it out there and then ask, kind of explain, here's what I do, here's where my value is. And Molly had a great deal on there with Julie Ork, and talking about your value, and say, this is my ideal client. Do you know someone who might be open, or might be interested in working together? And then once you're in with a client and they start to say, thank you, you ask for the referral.
That was when I did. I stepped out of my comfort zone because I was like, oh God, I'm just cringing for some reason asking for it. And they were like, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, that makes me a little bit more confident about doing that.
And they want to. Once they're happy, even if it's small little wins, once they're happy with you, they want to. So, and we do, like our playbook, we do participation. We'll let you share in the revenue. So if that was a way for you to get in with a company and you wanted to sell the playbook, you could get some of the revenue, go in and then coach off of the playbook. If you want to look at a demo, if you want to go to our website, Heather, email me or something, I can get your email.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I was like, that sounds so cool.
Well, it takes away.
It is cool. I've seen it. I've seen it in action, and it's cool. I've read the report, the playbooks, and they have. There's a lot of insight there that some of it is like 101, but people don't. For testimonials, for example, ask for satisfied clients. People don't do that.
Yeah, and the Google reviews, people don't even know they have bad Google reviews out there, or they're being chased by the Better Business Bureau and they don't even know it. So those are things that help, and then helps you to coach them in and say, here's some things we can work on. For you, Deidre, for hiring loan officers, it's a big competitive advantage. A loan officer can maybe say who their competitor is, and then you could help them get a playbook and the companion and be a bigger advantage. It could be a recruiting tool for you too.
Awesome.
So Molly, maybe we need to get you back on the platform and get you to sell some of these and make some money off of those.
Well, Laura, I was thinking you and Deirdre have a lot because you built your entire operation in Omaha, I think, right?
Yeah.
And how many loan officers? You went from 0 to how many?
We went from, well, we had teams too, because I was a big person on, if you're going to be a great loan officer, you need to bring a person in underneath you so you can start mentoring them. So we had juniors that we were able to bring up the team. So I think one of our bigger years was, maybe 360 million in production at small community bank. And personally,
That's what she has, yeah.
Yeah, personally, I, was able to be in the boots on the ground and be able to produce. So I think one of my last years, I still did 79 million. Now, people just keep coming. And so I'd hand business off too, because I only have so much time.
Right.
And my focus was around purchase and new construction because I love new houses. And now the new houses aren't even affordable for people. I mean, they are for, three working people in a 2-people household. So
yeah.
I faced the same thing here. Idaho has grown so exponentially because all the left coasters are moving.
Yes.
It's like Idaho, Utah, Montana.
Yes.
So literally the house that I rent, because I moved here, so I wanted to be sure I was in the right city, etc. These houses are renting for $2,700 a month.
Yeah.
I am the only person on my street that does not have another family living with me.
Wow.
That's what it takes for people to be able to afford this. There's 2 families living in these houses.
Right.
So yeah, I understand all about, things can get crazy expensive. But that's, certainly I'm going to put my email in the chat, but Laura, I'd love to talk more to you and just all of you about, what can be done. I mean, I know more about the mortgage industry than I even care to think about because I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
And the market hasn't changed, and even the industry really hasn't changed. I was sharing with Molly, I got in the industry in 1977. So yes,
Wow.
I had a manual typewriter. There was no fax machine.
Right.
You had a mimeograph machine in the corner, which I still can smell that ink. But it's the kind of thing where, while the industry itself hasn't changed much, it's changed a lot. But the fundamentals for the borrower they change with all of the automation.
Right.
You know, making their loan application on a phone. You know, it's everything changes. And even though you know a lot, you can still learn a little bit more. Like I'm still, I guess, what I would call a novice when it comes to AI.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you have to get into it. You absolutely have to get into it. And I think Suha did a great session last time on AI.
Deb's gonna do
Learn more.
Deb's gonna do the fourth quarter for us.
Awesome, Deb.
Is that right? Is it
Wow.
fourth quarter or first quarter?
No, fourth quarter with Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredibly useful, the AI lab last week. And I've got to really take control of my time because I'll sit here going, and then 5.5 hours later, like I've had to pee for the past 2 hours. I'm sitting in my chair, like in a weird spot, so I don't pee my pants.
That's so funny. Well, I think we all just have to speed up our path to learning. You know,
It's so fun. And I'm really enthusiastic about learning it. And I do use it for all kinds of things, but I use it a lot for what we do every day, day in and day out in this industry. Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's you can't do enough.
Mm-mm.
I was going to try to capture her email here. Sorry. So,
No
you know,
problem.
I think after all the hours that in the mortgage industry, when you work so many hours, Deb, I don't even know if you know how many hours a week you work. You probably don't. Heather, you know, it just runs away from you. And
Always.
so, always working. So then you get out of that same groove, and I'm still the same way. I just keep going, because you're helping somebody, and that's very rewarding. Yes, you have to monetize things and ask for more business. You can't ever ask for enough business, I think.
So, I know
Girls,
Deirdre and
I
I
love that.
talked about,
What's
That's
that?
lady.
Deirdre and I talked about, last week we were talking one-on-one, and she said, you know, what she really wants to learn, or what she really needs to do right now is uncover some unconventional recruiting strategies and tactics and really shake things up. But you and I haven't had the same conversation. I know that you have this Super Squirrel Solutions.
Mhm.
What are your ideal clients? How could we help push
Yeah.
things your way?
So my ideal clients are really broken teams, because we all have just been decimated in the industry. So especially support teams. I can jump into IT support with zero training. Usually I can run all the systems, Jira, ServiceNow, all of those I have almost developer level of familiarity with. So my thought was, I was always jumping in everywhere I was working. I was doing that on top of my regular job. And it didn't really do me the favors that I thought it was doing me, because, you know, layoffs came and I had my turn. So I've decided to go to the teams that I know need help, because they usually know me because I'm kind of everywhere, and get their management to hire me by the hour. And every hour that they would have me, I'm working. They know me, and they know that, you know, they can count on me. And, you know, I would keep track of everything I'm doing. I would be in line with their project management teams, like pretty much wherever they wanted to place me. That's my ideal situation, is that people would think of me in that way. And then the other thing that I'm pushing is content, because I am always exploding with content about the industry, about things that I'm learning, about training others. That when I was a SME at Fairway, one of my favorite things to do was to train the other closers. As soon as I got that job, I was like, oh, I was made for this because I can do it from every perspective, from the closer side, the IT department side, the error messages, so I know that that's valuable. I gotta find the right people who'll say yes. Everybody is kind of like that I've been talking to is like, oh, absolutely. And yes, we trust you. And then it's kind of quiet. So I need to get that extra step figured out, I think.
So do they just assume that they can handle what they've got right now?
I think that it's a little bit of that. I think that maybe I am stepping on toes that I'm not aware of by, maybe insinuating they can't handle the work or something like that. I'm trying to figure out what it is that,
Yeah, I don't think that that's it at all. I wouldn't assume that. I wouldn't, I don't know that it's,
I
think
wouldn't assume it either.
Never willing to admit that they need help until it's
Too late.
Until it's at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
Don't ever make yourself small to, avoid stepping on toes that you
I usually just barge in there anyway, but
yeah.
But I do want to make sure that I'm seen as being respectful by coming from that angle of like, hey, you need me. But
well, instead of saying you need me, just here's where I can add value to your team and help you be more efficient and more successful. Because if there's not efficiency, Deb, won't they lose the business?
Yeah.
And how do title companies work? There's great resources with title companies helping bridge you into these companies, like the title companies that you were associated with or your closers were. Those are your raving fans. You made it happen. You got it done. So you go back to the title companies and don't be shy on that. They need help too. Believe me.
And not only that, I mean, especially I think all of us, somebody just said it, the industry is getting decimated. And so if you can offer a service that you're bringing, and it's consulting hours and it's not a full-time salary plus benefits above, all that, it's
a high value.
Yeah, it's a high.
So.
It's a short-term investment for them.
And sometimes people don't even know what they don't know.
Yeah, and it's unfamiliar, so I'm thinking maybe that's a little bit of the sticking point. Is I'm going, no, this is super cheap and easy. Like, you want me to do 3 hours of IT support? Okay, and if no hours, no money. And maybe they're like, what's the catch?
Yeah, I think you just say, you're going to need this, and let's do this before you need it, because this market, they are going to push these rates down. There's no question. The debt is way too high. They can't roll this debt at these rates. It's going to get pushed. And when it does, the floodgates open, and then they can't find you because you're going to be busy. So you need to get me in there, and this is how you just go after them, right, Deb? You just go in and say, you need me, and let's start with a couple hours a week, or let's start with 3 hours a week. I'm going to ask you for a retainer. This is how much it is. If you need a reference, let me give you a couple references, but let's get started so that I'm in your system and I can help you and get familiar with your title companies. Just assume the sale. They need you. Assume the sale.
Really good point, because, people don't know what they don't know. So they may assume, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, how many thousands of dollars is that going to cost me? And then you say, well, yeah, 3 hours a week, it's going to be XYZ. And it's like, oh, that's really not so bad.
Right.
More than that.
Right.
Budget,
What do you train? What would you train people to do? What are some of the topics that you can train people to do?
Closing and closing technology. So e-closing platforms. I'm familiar with almost all of those. And there was like a revolving door of them when I was a closing SME. So we would get brand new technology and then we'd have to undo it all. So that meant I was writing the technical guides to train our closers on how to use the new technology and how it would integrate with the existing LOS and be like, you know, you don't have to double do this and this is where that goes. Like kind of take it from a technical perspective because that's how the closers are entering their data too. So that was
so that's also like you have to be in their Zoom, in a Zoom or a Teams meeting, you show them and then you ask them to show you back. So who are your connections with like Simple Nexus or some of the other closing platforms that can help you get in with these companies to help them with the balance?
Yeah.
Those are things you need to think about. Who are your connectors?
Well, and I was fortunate enough to go to the ICE experience in March, and I had familiarity with some of them through Fairway already, so I just went for it. I was just giving everybody my card, and I've been reaching out to SnapDocs and DocMagic and DocuTech, just because I'm like, you saw me in person, you have my card, and I can help with bridging the gap between lender communication to developer communication, because that's where I was working on that level. So I know there's need.
So where's the biggest pain points? And that's what you have to address. So before this pain is like a leg getting cut off, let me come in. Here's my fee, my monthly fee, my retainer. I'm going to put in this many hours. And then after that, I'll let you know ahead and you can just bill extra. You can talk with, oh gosh, who else is doing some of this work, Molly?
I was thinking, do you know Larry Bailey at Mortgage Workflow Partners? Okay. Encompass admins are his market, right? But from what I can see, he's making money
off of you
on the community of Encompass admins, like selling education and training and courses and this is stuff. This is how Mortgage Workflow Partners is making money. And I'm wondering if there aren't some lessons there to apply to your subject matter expertise.
Of course, with him already. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I have a course out to him already that he is looking through to see if he wants to put it on his platform. So fingers crossed on that one, which would be really cool.
Have you asked people for testimonials or recommendations on LinkedIn?
I have, but I'm going to do it again because I think I did it when I first started and I didn't get a lot. And then recently I reached out to my first client after it was going really well. And they posted something on LinkedIn and they were really nice about it, which, like I said, that was really comforting because I was feeling icky about asking. So, but I don't anymore.
Yeah. Get your confidence up and just go after it. And because if these people don't hire you that you're reaching out to right now, then the next person does. So who needs it the most? Because when they call you back and they need you, you're going to be already booked. When this does turn, Deb knows it, Deidre knows it from being in this, Molly knows it. When this market turns, it's going to be a whirlwind. You just have to hold on. Because so many people are still renting and so many people want to buy, and there's a transfer of wealth that's huge, that people will have those funds. There's also the down payment assistance. There's so many other pieces and parts. And if people are working and they have decent credit, they can buy a house. There's a way.
Yeah, and if you want to even ping me when you put a post out in case I miss it, I'll go look for you on LinkedIn. But if there are posts that you put out that I can like or repost, or just ping me and let me know, and I will do that.
For sure, that counts for me too. I have a set calendared time that I'm like squad patrol, and I try to go and look for everybody.
That's a good idea.
But if you post something and and need some support on it, just send me like, right, I'll be in there immediately. And even more if a situation gets spicy, you know, if somebody's saying something,
Yeah.
it escalates or whatever. There are many of us who would like nothing more.
We got a bunch of mama bears.
They're just waiting for a reason.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is all about, right? It's
Yep.
just like knowing each other, meeting each other, really knowing each other, and then supporting and showing up.
Yep.
It's good people.
So great. I'm honored to be here. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for coming.
Wow.
Does anybody have a specific ask or need? Like, I'm getting ready to do this and I need your support. I need you in my corner. Is there anything like that that we need to address?
Molly, how about you?
Yes. Okay, so this is our third LinkedIn squad. And we've had, this time we had many more people show up than normal because of my time screw up. But I want to keep.
What was it supposed to be?
1 hour before this.
Oh, I thought so. I was like, what the heck?
I know, but I want this to be an easy monthly meetup that new people can come and join without feeling like they're behind or they're out of the loop or, oh, I can't, they've already met 6 times. I don't want to be a latecomer. So I put together an agenda that I was thinking that we could try for the next monthly LinkedIn squad. And I just wrote this thinking like, lead off strong at the beginning with our purpose and what we hope every person who participates takes away. But also I have, it's just 1 page. It's an agenda that I think hopefully would make it clear to new people like Heather and Deirdre, this is what LinkedIn Squad is about. And I feel like I could jump in at any time. So if I share the PDF here, would you take a second just to look at it and let me know, does this make sense? As a new person, would this be something that you would want to do? We started off the very first 2 LinkedIn squads really talking about basic stuff, like make sure your profile photo isn't 4 years old. Mine is still 4 years old. Make sure you've got a banner, but I do want us to be able to move into supporting everybody who shows up, even if you only come once. I have your name on my list now, and I'm going to be looking at you for squad patrol, right? That's the idea. So I'm going to share this PDF, and if you could just take a look at it and let me know what you think. I just want to make sure that LinkedIn Squad does what we're all hoping. So being a part of deciding what we talk about is what we all, it can't just be what Molly thinks is fun about LinkedIn right now, because I don't think anything is fun about LinkedIn right now. I was saying earlier, I've been really stepping up posts on Athena's council, page, and also on my own personal page. And I still haven't crossed over into the video, which I know I need to do, and I have 100 excuses not. But over the past couple of weeks, I've been pretty frustrated. Like, God, this takes up a lot of time. But I've talked to new members over the past 2 weeks. And when I've asked what made you decide to come and join us, it's LinkedIn.
It's true.
So I'm hoping that's where consulting gigs for Heather can come from. You know, new badass top producing loan officers for Deirdre to use. You know, I'm hoping that that's what we get. And an idea just struck me. Mosaic Gatling was on the call at the beginning of this LinkedIn squad. And Deirdre, I'm going to send you a little intro recruiting.
Perfect. And Laura, if you can send me your information, because when I'm talking to recruits or people that are, you know, maybe they're not even thinking about their career correctly, or maybe their company's not, I'd love to have the information about what you provide.
Yeah, great.
Deb, what
Thank
about you? I know how you want to be known on LinkedIn, and I think there is a perfect spot for you right there. Do you have any asks in the next 30 days? Is there anything that you're cooking up that you need some support on?
No, I mean, really, I think, Laura, you kind of said it, don't burn your bridges. And there was God, it was one of the mentor sessions that I missed, but I went back and I was watching the video, and it was oh God, what's her name? Anyway, she said, you know, she just really hit home with me about, you know, here she was, she never mentored, she never networked before, and her boss was retiring, and she was like, shit, what am I going to do? And it was like an eye-opening moment for her. And I thought, you know what, with all of the places I've been and all the people I've met over the years and stuff like that, I didn't do any networking. And what is that going to serve me if tomorrow my company, you know, if I'm the next one, if I'm on that list, what is my network? And I haven't been doing myself justice. I have a lot to offer, and I have, you know, I bring a lot of value to anybody that is, you know, marrying the technology with the business, the hands-on business. And, you know, not only from an originations perspective, but a capital markets perspective, because I worked in capital markets for 10 years. So I just thought, you know what, I need to do networking. I deserve, you know, I need to do that for myself, and I deserve that for myself. Where, you know, like you kind of said it, Heather, like you're doing your day job, and at the same time you're like, oh, I could just help you with that and I'll just give you, you know, I'll just do that for you, or I'll show you how to do it. You're adding value to somebody else's career there, because you're showing them something. And where we want to help and we want to help lift each other up, that's fantastic. But we also, the difference is this group recognizes each other. Where, you know, at some point, God, I hope I, you know, I never need it, but who knows? I may outgrow my role where I am, and it's time to take on a bigger role, and networking is going to do that for me. So I'm just looking to, you know, I think, you know, Laura, you kind of said it. I'm looking to support the women in this group. Molly, it was, you know, I think I was officially the second person at Athena's council. But yeah, you know, it just, like, I've been looking for something. I had applied to join that chief network. And I don't know if you've heard of that one, but
It's expensive.
not only, it wasn't even expensive, but it wasn't what it used to be when it was a much smaller network. And I talked to people, and they were just really frustrated with it. It was not Like they were looking for the kind of community feeling that you're fostering and you're growing here, Molly. And it just wasn't that anymore. And it wasn't even applicable. Like, you know, the people that they wanted to network me with, it was like, I can't bring anything to the table with a stuffed animal factory. Sorry. So when I saw this, you know, it was just the right spot. I can give back and I can help, and I'm willing to do that in a community that fosters and grows. So
Yeah, because I honestly believe, like, if you show up and you exist and you build relationships, like what you're doing real, you know, that whenever it comes time to make a move, we are your, you know, here we are, your friend. Kim Hoffman, she was on the call earlier, and she said to me about a year ago, she said, do you know what would happen if I had the friends that I have now, if I had those 15 years ago or 20 years ago?
yeah.
Because I know, at least for me, I was discouraged from networking outside of the company.
Oh,
You know, your company doesn't want you to do that because they think you're going to leave, they think you're going to find some other place. And I was too busy kicking ass and working every day to
promote yourself, to network yourself, to yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or I thought I would be giving off I would second guess it, Heather, kind of like what you were talking about, like, oh, I hope I don't step on toes here by saying something on LinkedIn about a fit product with great results or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I think I came from a place where I saw a lot of that behind the scenes with the people that I worked with, where they would be watching other people's LinkedIn to see if someone was going to be leaving or if somebody was liking posts for another company. And it was so like high schooly. And then I have to remind myself that I'm out of that now. So I can do things, you know, the right way. I don't have to worry.
Do you know Liz? Short. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's the one who recommended that I join this group, actually.
Okay, well, good. When everybody, or that's how my mind works, is I think of all these people that y'all should know. So I'm going to be emailing you like, hey, do you know, like, Deirdre, you need to know Kelly Gale. Do you know her?
Yep.
The octopus.
Yeah, she's been picking some fights on LinkedIn about recruiting and what's proper and what's not, and I think she has some pretty fresh ideas about, you know. So I'll
Great.
Yeah. So I'm happy that you all showed up tonight, and we know each other a lot better. I'm going to share this PDF of the agenda that I think might work to keep it engaging every month, but also for somebody who hasn't been here before to look at it and say, oh, I could do that. I want to participate in that. And I really appreciate it.
Happy to do it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, ladies.
Didn't see the time.
Thank you all. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Have a good evening.
It's great to meet you.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk
Bye.
soon. Bye.